Welcome to Sri and Kira Live. As our world spins seemingly out of control, we are all experiencing time speeding up, chaos shifting to a new level, and a yearning to know the greater mysteries of the universe. What does it all mean? Visionary spiritual teachers and best-selling authors Sri Ram Kaur and Kira Ra explore these mysteries, offer live soul readings, and invite you to open up your mind, body, and spirit to the paradigms that are shifting. Bringing you fresh perspectives and timeless wisdom, here are Sri and Kira.
Namaste and welcome to Sri and Kira Live.
And Kira just stepped on the light, so forgive me and welcome. But, you know, I love the symbolism of having just stepped on the light as Sri and I welcome you to what's going on in our planet right now.
We are delighted to be with you live, and we're standing here at the gateway of this violet vortex.
Woo, it is incredible. And welcome to our all new 1 hour show. We are so excited to be with you in this format because there are so many other things happening that this hour is our hour to truly pull it all together with you. And you know, there's so much happening that before we forget, which I know I tend to do, you're going to want to jump in those phone lines early. I already see Oneness Talk Radio filling up. Get in the phone line now. We are going to be interspersing your calls all throughout the show. So, Sri, you've got the numbers.
I do. Here they are. Get ready. 517-208-1500. That's 517-208-1500 over Oneness Talk Radio. Or give a ring to BBS Radio at 888-627-6008. That's 888-627-6008. 6008.
Yeah, and get into the queue. Remember, you can listen to the show while you're holding. And so, Sri, I was, just as we were getting ready for the show today, I was reminded of what happened this morning. And I was really, you know, I was coming up here to the studio. If I still seem a little winded, it was like, okay, it was so clear that what happened this morning was really about today. First and foremost, let's acknowledge that today is, we're going to timestamp this in for whenever you would connect with this broadcast. It's April 11, 2021. It is the one, and the one will always be one, right?
Yes.
Archangel Zodkiel's words, right?
1 plus 1 is still 1.
Is always one. And so this is the gift. It is the ultimate together we are better moment. And so much is launching as tomorrow we culminate. I know you can feel it in your breath. So this morning, it was a beautiful Sunday morning here. I mean, just a stunning, stunning Sunday morning here at Tosa Blue Mountain. I'm on the treadmill, as I do every day. And I'm very blessed that literally right outside my window, which is the studio window, we're staring at it right now, are these fabulous trees that have, I don't know, blossoms. What do you call them? Flowers?
Yeah, they're little puffy blossoms that are fabulous. They're so delicate yet sturdy.
They look like little parachutes, and they attract all of the hummingbirds. And the first thing that happened this morning was we have so many different variety of hummingbirds here at Tosa Blue Mountain. So while I'm on the treadmill, this adorable, maybe this big, maybe 1.5 inches, 2 inches max. I call them the motorboats. They're like the yachters, right? They come trolling by and they're just like, you know, very slow. Like they literally hum by you going, look at how gorgeous I am. Can you believe I'm a hummingbird and I'm this big? Well, I was watching him as he did his flyby to one of the orange parachutes, right?
Here's the fit.
Oh my gosh. So as if that wasn't enough, this is why my run is always so amazing, right? As if that wasn't enough, my eyes go into the tree and I see something I've never seen before. I'm staring at what I think is the largest rat I have ever seen in my life. I mean, I'm seeing it from the back. I see gray, I see tail, and I see pink ears, and I am like, oh my God, we've got huge rats living here,
no,
right?
We don't.
But that's what I thought. So that was, I'm like, oh my gosh, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. And I'm watching this rat going in the tree, and I've got the cute little hummingbird, and then there's another pair of hummingbirds over here. Well, take a breath, because and this is why I shared what I thought it was at first, because It was big. For a rat, it would have been huge. It turns its face toward me. And I am seeing the most beautiful baby opossum you've ever seen in your life with these cute little pink ears, black fur around the eyes, white face, little black here. The tail is this ring tail, just gorgeous. And now I know why our dogs for the past couple weeks have had a real fascination with a specific area in our wall, because obviously we are blessed to have a family of opossum.
Yeah.
And so I tried to get a movie and I sent it to everyone that was living here and was like, oh my gosh, check this out, check this out. And then I've been like feeling very motherly around it all day long.
Yeah,
I
because
really
it's
have
precious.
been
All
concerned
life
now.
is precious. Yeah.
But and then here's why I wanted to bring it up is that they're night crawlers. These are nocturnal creatures. Yeah. That this possum felt safe enough, curious enough, was either dumb enough, smart enough, or awake enough to be out. And this was like 10:30 in the morning. Uh-huh. So it was long past. And so that's been sitting with me. This message of the slow and steady hummingbird that is pointing in the direction of those which we might not normally see because they dwell at night as we're moving into the illuminated new moon.
Oh, true,
and I
true.
saw it as the sign that this illuminated new moon is already revealing to us what is coming in its totality tomorrow, right? Tomorrow on this 12th day. So consider that in this moment right now, the Uplevel before you, your possum, and it's a baby and it's so beautiful, so beautiful. I'll show you the video I got. It doesn't show much, but it shows you exactly what I was looking at. This little baby possum with such innocence and courage is the first thing that stepped out and said, look, I play dead to be able to stay alive. And what I'm showing you is that you don't need to do that anymore. You are safe to come out in daylight. Yeah. You are the mainstream. You are outrageously sane. You are awake.
You don't have to turn your truth down. You don't have to turn your empowerment down.
You don't have
to play dead in order to be safe.
Exactly. And here the video I have, it's frolicking in the tree. Like I've never watched them play. Like it was just hanging in the tree and frolicking. And I was like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. And please don't stay here because I have a cat that I think would probably hurt you. So it's really been a fascinating day for me talking to Merlin and also saying, look, and the lion and the lamb, this possum has come out, right? That beautiful baby possum came out of the woods today. On the 1-1, on the day of the 1 and the 1, in the moment where we are being invited to do, and Sri and I are going to do we're both going to separate here, to do this, to say yes to this moment. Yeah. And I want you to just breathe that in, because that is what's happening with the violet flame right now. And the way my heart experiences this, and again, I only create what they show me, but the way I experience this is that this is our seat at the table. You see, there you are, there you are, there you are, there you are, there you are. See, all of us, we're taking our seat. But you notice that there's this infinite heartbeat. And what you're probably already seeing is that it's the Ave Sa ignition, right? And it's a double iris infinite, which was first shown to us on our mountain. Yeah. The first time I saw that, I will show you where that is, on the alien skull, huge formation at the top of Tosa Blue Mountain. And they said that is the double iris, it's that the 1 and the 1 is still the 1. It's the ignition of the infinite presence. Mm-hmm. And so tomorrow, I have to jump ahead, because tomorrow is when it's when we literally put the key in with this energy and unlock the I am discourses. It is a moment where what we seeded back in the 1930s, right? In the 1930s, almost 100 years ago. And linear time is irrelevant, but in this linear timeline, almost 100 years ago. And at that time, when we go back there, we already aware of this possibility now that we are at, knew that our consciousness was going to hit a double iris moment. It's the moment where literally your vision, this is why you often see the gods with the many eyes. It's exactly what's happening to humanity. And in order to really expand and take your seat. See, that's the generator, right? That's the generator right there. That's the generator. And that's the generator that has that eye-like propulsion. This is happening because we are in concentric dimensionality. If you turn and you really just look at this and you notice the totality of this, you feel that? Are you being pulled in? Are you coming out? Are you spinning? Are you at the table? Because this wheel right here, that is what we're calling together. That is what the equinox opened. It opened the ascended presence of mastery, remembering itself in this timeline, thereby receiving this open portal and being able to hold it open for others. And you see all those other lights there? That's what happens when we take our seat at the table. That's all the radiation. And then, I'm going to scooch more. That radiation ignites the rainbow radiation that ignites and sustains creation that calls forward the lotus again. This is the moment. This is everything Sri and I could say in words being offered to you in energy. And so I want you to just really breathe that in, because I just want to take a moment also. I think Sri and I should just take a moment and acknowledge that those of you that were with us live yesterday in the Crystalline Atlantean Healing Chamber from here at Tosa Blue Mountain, I'm still catching my breath.
It was a fabulous energy and a fabulous healing. Remember that as we lift, the problems that were created at lower levels of consciousness, at lower vibrational rates, tend to naturally resolve, unless you choose to take them with you, and that's another story. So as we lift, we heal. That is the nature of quantum healing. It is the nature of self-ascension. As you lift, you heal more. Balance more, harmony more, divine more. Everything comes into a greater greatness. And so yesterday during our attunement process, with the healers that were with us, a wonderful energy was transmitted and received and expanded to touch the hearts and lift the consciousness of all who participate.
And thank you for all of you that have been sharing your emails with us this morning of what happened yesterday. I have not seen the tape yet, so I still don't really know it all as far as what experience happened there near the end. What I am aware of is that today we are here.
Yes.
And it is partly because of what happened there yesterday. This ignition is here now. We are opening the gateway, and this very week, right now, this week, and in a moment I'll show you on the calendar. I just want you to feel it. Here it is on Sunday. When we meet again next Sunday, your hands are going to be on your heart going, wow, thank you.
Yeah.
The week ahead is staged to be a week filled with synergistic connections, affirmations, people coming together, visions expanding, speaking to people who are carrying the same, and all of that will be coming together if you are holding and honestly living in your ascended experience. And what does that really mean? It means that you are living the miracle model of sincerity, love, and presence. It's just that easy. It's just that easy. And I do want to affirm, Sri, that, that's what Sri and I do here at Tosa Blue Mountain. We really live everything we're sharing with you. And we have guests here right now, and we welcome you here anytime. Remember that there is a moment before us where simply breathing some of the cleanest air on the planet and igniting at high altitude outside of the group think is a moment that gifts every one of us. And that's why every week we broadcast here and offer that to you, because you don't have to come here to receive it. That is our gift. That is why we were called to be the custodians. The question right now, and it's for this moment right now today, what in your life right now is coming into this alignment? Because everything is coming into that double iris alignment, which means whatever's happening, especially this week, it's going to meet its infinite experience. So everything is going to be in an infinite experience. So if you're living in spiral time, get ready to have the time of your life. It's going to be amazing. And if you're holding on like this, remember we talked about how those wings of our chalice are either going to do this or they're going to do this. So if you're doing this, you're just praying that you don't get wet. You know there's a rainfall, but you're so afraid of getting wet, you don't realize that if you do this, it's this pure light saying, just remember who you are. So a powerful week.
Yes.
Powerful week.
A week of healing or holding.
Yeah, exactly.
And so, beloved ones, as we move forward into this week, as we move forward into this time with you, we want to invite you to get clear about your choices and your willingness, because ascension, self-ascension, awakening, self-realization, enlightenment, pick the word that works for you.
There it is.
Does not happen without willingness. And the willingness is about your willingness to surrender, your willingness to trust the universe, your willingness to drop your agenda and your attachments and be that which you truly are, which is a divine being.
Which means amazing. Wow. Look what we're doing to the camera, Sri.
Yeah, camera's having trouble finding where we are.
Okay, well, here's where we are. Isn't this fun? All right. Well, okay, guys, here's where we are. I kind of like the blue light.
Yeah,
I hope you're seeing it as blue, too. That was not intended.
That wasn't there before.
It was not there before, but then again, every time we're here in the studio, things shift. They really do. So speaking, oh wow, I'm loving this, Sri. All right, let's flip to the. I want to go to the calendar anyway. So here we are. Let's look at the calendar for a minute. So the April calendar is, as you can see, all about right now. Look at today. Today we are, remember those wings of April? They were either all the way open and your chalice is igniting. This week is coming into that which will keep the chalice open. And look at Wednesday the 14th. Wednesday the 14th is not only an up-level day, it's one of those ascension up-level moments, because this one is literally what will anchor and keep your ascended heart open along with the chalice. This is where you have the opportunity to be the chalice, know the chalice, step into and remember yourself as the chalice eternally. Now look at the wings. You see how they come up from really the middle of next week, the 21st upward. This is the week where we get that extra propulsion, right? You know, it's easier, the big part of the wing, you know, down at the bottom, things are a little different. And so this is the week where all of the energy, look at the 11th, where we're out receiving from the cosmic universe right now today before it starts hitting that lotus of creation coming into the middle of the week. But look at this whole month of Saturdays. This whole month, remember, has been the 12. We are at this whole month has been that 12 o'clock hour, and we've all been hanging in the void. Remember, we are the pendulum. So this is why it has this overarching, this is who we are. Stay in the ascended presence all month long. And in a month of experience, that is when multidimensional presence becomes so powerful. Because in the month of experience, it means that density is going to find and use every single thing that it can to distract you. And it's going to come at you in lots of different ways. And it's going to do everything it can to get you to doubt yourself. And so I want you to bring your hands to your heart. And are you able to read that, Sri?
No.
Okay, then I'll try. Okay, and so I'm going to read from the calendar, and this is from Lady and Nadia of the Crystalline Brethren of Cosmic Light. And again, let's bring our hands to our heart. Ah, yeah, here we are. Breathe and feel the blessing, as this is a glorious moment of divine love. Our service continues to be holding of the chalice of crystalline light that pours forth the divine elixir that supports the gift of love in form for those who rediscover themselves in form, the essence of self-ascension. The chalice we hold is formless and yet formed. And so I just want you to breathe that in, and we're going to breathe that in, knowing that right now you are the chalice, right? This whole month is about receiving, being open. And in this moment today, that one and the one that is always the one is the master you are that's already whispering in your ear saying, hey, look at tomorrow. Be there, right? And I am serious about that. The master that you are has pointed you here more because of what's going on there. It's a moment where you are being gifted with the opportunity to honestly connect, even if just for a moment, with what it is to be in full, conscious, awakened presence of the mastery that is the you, in conscious connection with the form that is experiencing. So let's just breathe that in, because it's such a big day.
You know, as you just pause for a moment and allow yourself to discover the truth of that beyond the first comprehension of the words.
Yeah.
Because to discover the truth of it is to recognize that we are beyond form. We are enjoying form.
Yes.
We are beyond the words that we use to describe what we are. Yet this is our mode of communication. And there goes the camera. It's so wild. Anyway, the piece I want to impart is if you take a moment and breathe. That's a good start. Now do that consciously. Breathing in. Follow the breath into the center of your chest. And discover the energy that is your life. Allow that to come forward in your awareness now. I am. We have an opportunity, each and every one of us, to reside more consciously, more fully in the truth of that essence. And as we reside more consciously and more fully in the truth of that essence, everything shifts. Our whole world experience will change. Our friends will change. We may change careers. We may change locations where we anchor our energy on the planet. And it is in trusting that we then discover that we are both a part of something grander and free to choose. And in that freedom and participation comes great joy, great alignment, and great peace. And those are the gifts of self-ascension. Those are the gifts of surrendering to the deeper you.
You know, I want you to breathe that in. And one of the things that I'm giggling around and enjoying is that it's now 2:24, but Shri, when you started that sharing, it was exactly 2:22 here. And in the essence of the one and the way that everything was experiencing, I just was so, I wanted to share that with all of you, was just the absolute divine perfection of that. And so thank you, Shri, for that absolute divine perfection and calling that in. I'm very grateful for that. And so I do want to share that this seed of creation that's here right now, that's being held by the masters at the table and the grid of illumination. And you see how this infinitely ignites and ignites and ignites and ignites. Well, that is the violet ray that has absolutely called forward the violet flame and these seeds of creation. So what's here is that we're aware of these. It's like we're all sitting at the table going, wow, we're gazing at it. Now, what are we going to do with it? You notice how it's being held. It's like the generator, right? It always reminds me of those movies. It's like we've got to walk out to the middle and one of us must bond with it. You know, it's like, I'm cool, I'll do that. So it's like, okay, how do we call it in? That's why we're being called to the table, because that's the opportunity that's before us today. The universe is literally gazing at us with literal open arms, right? The universe is going, hey, I'm right here. And the beauty of that is that is the invitation. And that is all it can do, is be here as the invitation. Whether or not we receive it, whether or not it gets lost in our mail systems, we don't know. But the invitation is here. And for all of those that are receiving it, and especially starting this week, get ready to expand beyond your wildest dreams. And remember that all is expanding. All of the seeds of creation are here. And so as you are holding this higher consciousness, this massively expansive amplification that started on the equinox, this is that like boom that's gonna like wow sound it out right now. Mm-hmm. And that's what all of April is about specifically. Remember, we're just swinging in illumination all April. We're just sitting on our swing. We're watching what's happening, but there's a lot of activity that's keeping that swing where it needs to stay. And so in this moment, this is the moment. What is holding your dreams at bay? Breathe it in. This is the moment, because, and especially today, tomorrow, Tuesday, Wednesday, these 4 days are all about healing the heart of humanity. And so as you are holding that energy steady, and as that level of consciousness that is outside of the me only is holding the greater good, then what's happening is that you will be able to gaze beyond your wildest dreams, and you're going to see the law of instantaneous manifestation begin right now.
You know, when you ask the question, what is it that is holding your dreams at bay? Yeah. What is it that is inhibiting the full manifestation of the you, the glory of you, the opulent, ecstatic beingness of you? And I heard many of you, when Kira said that, said, well, you know, I don't have the money, I don't have the time, I don't have the job. You know, I heard the don't haves. And there we go. I just am really digging this camera. Anyway, what I wish to remind you is there will come a point where you recognize that nothing has power over you except that which you give your power to.
Stop and breathe that in. I want them to really feel that, right? Nothing has power over you except that which you give your power to. Really breathe that in. Thank you.
And if you're seeing something in the outer world that's inhibiting you from living your joy, I must ask you, why do you choose to continue to empower that as an obstacle?
Wow.
Why do you keep choosing that? What is the payoff for staying smaller? What is the payoff for staying a little bit unsatisfied?
Well, I think it brings us to the next the next question is, so what is it you are ready to fully claim? What is it you are really ready to live? And that is where you need to go, is to go, okay, so I get that. And it's about lifting through it as quickly as possible. It's not about having to take a lot of time to process or look at it or get all, beside yourself with it. As a matter of fact, if that's happening, stop, because it means the victim's got a hold of you, right? So that's important to pay attention to as well.
Well, it's important to recognize that we believe so strongly in the limitations that you will want to dismiss what I just said or shared. Yet there will come a point where all of a sudden you realize, and I mean, you will discover this for yourself. The question is when. The suffering stops when I say I've had enough.
When you see that I am as you are. It's that simple. It's when we let go of judging ourselves. Go backwards a moment. How can you ever stop judging another if you are still judging yourself?
Yep.
And this does not mean, and this is the big resolution piece that needs to come forward, because many say, well, wait a minute, here's where I find the flaw in that, is like, well, that means I can get away with anything. Absolutely not. What it's sharing is that when you stop judging yourself is actually when the solutions are birthed. Actually, when you see it from the perspective that offers you the blessing of the resolution. To see beyond the judgment is seventh dimensional. It doesn't mean you're living there. Many can touch it, but they come back into fifth and often fourth and third, and that's fine. We do a lot of transiting until we're ready. And so when you are living in that compassion zone of the fifth dimension, and that is the gateway, right? And remember, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, the greatest living example of fifth dimensional consciousness on the planet, the living embodiment of compassion. So living in compassion allows us to see the bigger picture, and we will always be able to see broader solutions because we're always carrying at least the gateway igniter to the fifth dimension. But it's when we can really let go of the judgment that we lift again. And this moment right now, even the way that time is moving, even the way I'm going to show that we have the spiral time. Let's just look at that again, because pay attention here. If you can see this, you're seeing the violet flame energy ignited. And now what you would be looking at is the 2021 energy flow as spiral time ignition. And so this is important to remember, that we are at a moment where, imagine what looks like a torus field, right? You're looking at a torus field and you're inside of it. It's like you're in the torus field running around, right? It would be a big circle. It'd like being a big indoor circle that you're running around in. That's everything that's happening right now. And it's actually an active portal within a portal. And in the middle of it is this eye energy, this violet ray energy. And as April now shifts into her midpoint, which is happening this week, we are literally at the final breath, coming back on an up curve before we really, I don't want to use the word collide with May, but we're going to bring May, that's the word they want me to use, is we're going to collide with May. And you can see when May ignites, so does the first of the 3 harmonic bursts that are going to hit us all in the same year. And now that we're in the second half of April, this ignition is a blessing. We have been gifted with this opportunity to say yes, and this is the Say Yes week. So, again, what are you ready to really fully claim and live? Not just, I'm talking live it. Live it. What is it you'd like to live? Because that miracle, that dream is yours to claim. You just have to say yes.
You have to say yes, and you've got to be willing,
back
to the willingness, to take action. Everything in your life is a pattern. That is the way we respond to life. It's patterned, it's learned, and those learnings can be useful to a certain extent as far as they'll carry you. However, there comes a point where we need to perforate the pattern a little bit to allow a little more light to come in, to be less controlled by that and more available. I'm sorry.
It was an accident. I touched you by accident. I'm so sorry.
I didn't understand. I was so downstream.
You were. I'm sorry.
And so one of the things when we talk about taking action is, one of the things I've done that I know works that I want to share with you is grab a Post-it note. Grab a Post-it note and you can write right on it, I can choose judgment or love. I can choose judgment or love. And post that somewhere where you're not likely to catch it immediately. You could put it on the inside of the medicine chest. You could put it at the sun visor of your car, whatever. But the key here is to practice interrupting the pattern with a choice that is healthy and is in alignment with your highest good. Oftentimes we make choices that are in alignment with a lower desire, and sometimes that works out, and sometimes it doesn't work out so well. However, when we make choices that are aligned with our highest good, we enlist energies and helpers beyond the physical. And so I encourage you, give that a try. Discover for yourself the joy of choosing to take positive action, to expand into this opportunity. We are at an amazing time in April. And this week is a time of claiming and manifesting. And tomorrow on 4/12, I've given you the 411 today. Tomorrow at 4/12, we are going to be moving forward with great power and ignition on the I Am discourses.
Yeah, and help us. I'm actually stunned at the registration. I'm really stunned. I expected there to be thousands, and there aren't. And so let's really look at this grid of illumination. We have 24 hours. Who do you know that you can invite into the I Am miracle that's going to happen tomorrow? How can you help us spread the word more efficiently? But let's create a miracle, because this grid of illumination, what is coming together, the unlocking of the Course in Miracles for this moment. Look at the energy that has done everything it can to limit this level of expansion. Well, the reason that we are meeting such a massive equal pushback is because we are as massively strong. So remember that whenever you are getting the strongest pushback means that's because you're that much stronger pushing out. And that it's not about pushing at all. It's your emanation. And this is the gift, is that we are at a critical moment of consciousness. We have already collectively expanding into this is never happened. This has never happened. And Merlin just came in and meowed. So our lion has roared. All right. This has never happened. And the lion roared. I love that.
Yeah.
So in this moment, of course, there will be a very strong energy that says, no. We want to see this way play out. Even though it's going to have that same destructive end, we want to see how this destructive end plays out. Wow. What does it look like destroying ourselves at this level of consciousness? And we're already seeing some of that. The key is to say yes to not having that ending. This is not done yet. And we must give ourselves the opportunity to say yes to who we truly are, to call forward the Einsteinian moment, to really call in that collective solution by all of us coming to the table together. So let's just really breathe that one in. Let's just really, wow. Because that's not an easy thing to do. I've been trying to do that for 14 months and it's almost killed me twice. And I'm not giving up.
So speaking of coming together, we have some folks standing by on the lines. If you'd like to get in there, give us a ring.
And we can go over and start saying hello.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're going to head over to BBS Radio and say hi to Robert on line 2.
From California. Hey, Robert. Namaste. Welcome.
Well, namaste, and thank you for taking my call.
Our pleasure.
Well, here's my question for today. For whatever reason, an opportunity was presented to me to work with an autistic young adult in kind of a job situation. I am tossing this around and was wanted to see if this is something I could integrate into my life at this time, or if it just would be nothing more than a distraction or just not a good use of my energy.
Well, first of all, as you're sharing, I want to note that I really felt the need to be balancing my heart and my third chakra. So I have my left hand, I'll just, right here, I've got my left hand on my third chakra. I've got my right hand right here on my heart center. And I really want to encourage you to really breathe between those two chakras, first and foremost. The next thing I want to share with you is that the whole time you were sharing, they kept drawing this beautiful character, and I had no idea what it meant. And what it is it's the symbol for challenge opportunity. What they're saying is that this would be that what is before you right now is an opportunity that will challenge you both, and that will expand you, and that will bring you forward on the other side in a way you could not even comprehend. And they're also saying, look at the timing of this arrival. It's very much for you, almost like a split. And they're saying, yes, is it different than you would imagine? Absolutely. And what they're saying is that it is only a distraction if that is what you choose it to be. It could also be your greatest opportunity. And that's hence why they're drawing the symbol. And so thank you for sharing. And wow, what a big moment for you. Regardless of what you do, that's the energy that's around you right now. So one way or another, it's going to manifest. And so thank you for sharing that with all of us today. We love you, honey.
Okay, well, thank you. That's certainly a good, interesting perspective. So I wasn't sure if it sounds like it's not just a yes or no. There's some gray area to some things to look at, but certainly could look at it as an expanding opportunity rather than something that would pull your energy down.
I want to go back to what we opened with. One hand on your third, one hand on your heart. Neither one of those hands are on your head right now. And so when you're really looking at this, keep your hands there and really feel yourself bringing the breath into the stomach, the heart, balancing those two. You could even change the hands. And they're saying and I'm just smiling because you've already got this. So I'm going to let you go because we love you. You've already got this, and I'm so glad that you were here today.
Trust yourself.
You're amazing. Thank you, Robert.
All right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sweetheart. Namaste. All right, Shri, let's run over to right here at, is that San Diego maybe? Over at Oneness Talk Radio?
Yeah, looks like we're going to San Diego.
All right. Hey, San Diego. Welcome. Namaste.
Hi, guys. Hi. It's Lauren Evans. I've called in a couple times. I feel I'm so grateful that you took my call. I could feel you choosing me just as you were before you said the word San Diego. I'll be concise because I know that time is short today. Okay. Two things. Number one, the possum story helped me so much because I had a possum sneak into my apartment and spend the night, and I never knew what it meant until now, and that happened like a year and a half ago, and nothing on the internet helped in terms of animal totems, but your explanation, I was like, that's why. And so thank you for that. And then moving right along, so I got the news that I have to get the COVID vaccine, and I did not want to, but I have to for employment reasons and also being able to visit my boyfriend who is incarcerated. And I feel like, Sri, when you pointedly gave the guidance, I'm blanking on the words right now, but just in essence, nothing has power over you in density unless you choose it to. I was like, there it is. Yep. Because I essentially, what I've been hearing, I just would like some affirmation that I'm receiving clear guidance on this, that basically, what is the point of all this work on my consciousness if I can't transmute a silly little injection?
Exactly. I mean, I'm sorry. I just had to jump in because I'm like, yes. This is why all of the bravado, all of the articles, I read none of them. They're designed to keep your head out of the consciousness that is required where, what I will share with you, what I got was after the injection, I felt something in my upper right here, right up in my upper right nostril. And they're saying for 2 days after the injection, get nasal saline, and especially on the right side. And for 2 days, just use a lot of nasal saline, and you're good, girl. And I don't even think it's the injection. I think it's like the environment or something that you were around. But for 2 days, nasal saline.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. Thank you guys so much. And then the other guidance I got on a physical level was to take activated charcoal to draw that out of the system. Is that in alignment?
There's absolutely no harm that can come from that.
Never hurts.
What's being injected is not at the digestive system level. However,
doesn't hurt.
There are toxins released in association, so it can only help.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Thank you guys so very much. I bow in reverence to both of you, and I'll see you tomorrow at 4 p.m. Pacific for I Am Discourses.
Are you so excited? We are the grid, and give our love to your beautiful one. All right, Angel, we love you.
I love you guys. Thank you.
Thank you, sweetheart. Namaste. Wow. Shri, I just want to feel for a moment the radiance and the love of all of our callers.
Yeah.
You guys, this is why this community is so important. And I know Shri and I are not over at YouTube able to communicate in real time in the chat, but I'm confident there's lots of amazing beings there and that you're all there supporting each other. And I do love that she had a possum sleep in her apartment overnight. I got to tell you guys, it was the cutest little thing I've ever seen in my life once I got over that it wasn't a huge rat, because now that you know it was a baby possum, you know how big it was, which is why I was like, oh my God, it's the biggest rat I've ever seen in my life, And
what our caller brings forward is a reminder that the qualities required to consciously self-ascend are steadfast commitment.
There it is.
Focused awareness and complete trust. And when I shared with you the truth that the suffering ends when you say, I've had enough, and that anything in the outer world that you feel is a blocker is only there because you gave it your power.
Right.
Now, that's true. The key is, in order to move forward, first you have to affirm. I call back my power. I know what is good and healthy for me, and in this case, I know I can transmute anything that came in. The key is we have to breathe that into all levels of our being. This is where sometimes a little healing work is required. It's one thing to have the moment of clarity and command the truth. It's another thing for that truth to penetrate through into the cellular structure of your being. And this is why the Post-it note, the little reminders, because from time to time we get immersed, we get hypnotized.
Well, and this brings us to where we're going right now, which is I'm going to put up the Divine Director's ensoulment. This is the ensoulment that came with us to Bhutan. This is the ensoulment that literally we laminated with fig leaves. And so we'd like you to bring your hands to your heart, because we would like to call us all in, because on this day right now, once again, this is the ensoulment we are being directed to look at on this April 11, 2021 moment. And you can see it was originally delivered on December 22nd, and today's the 11th, right? Yeah. 22 and the 11, December 22, 2019. And so let's breathe in. Shri, would you do the honors?
I'd be happy to. Let's take a deep clearing breath and become present. Imagine a world where with every breath and in every moment, you only saw each being as the highest potential of their being for this lifetime. Then notice you have already activated your star consciousness and have transcended the third dimension without the need for conscious thought. Now, what does your life look like? What are you doing? Who are you with? Where are you living? What do you look like? What are you wearing? How do you feel? Then notice that you are noticing and have already activated the lift from the fifth dimension into the seventh. Here you are floating and aware that you are without any judgment, melted into a sea of compassionate lift from the fifth dimensional highway of experience. You have arrived now at the seventh dimensional gateway. Discovering that a door does not exist, for you can only open this experience through the release of judgment and the recognition of the divine perfection of the weaving of energies through the complexity of space and time and co-creation. Here the vastness of the journey unfolds, and there is a moment where your conscious breath calls you through the recognition that the body is not breathing. You are therefore called to instinctively pay attention to that which has just come forward. This is the moment of divine awareness and the opportunity to experience the vastness as a witnesser of the fifth dimension, witnessing itself as the seventh dimension. You arrive again as a witness, now fully choosing to enter the ninth dimension. For to say yes to this resurrected presence is to fully release all the attachments, constraints, and needs of the third dimension. Fully anchored in the compassion of the fifth dimension supports staying in a body of form without decay, for as long as the experience serves the compassion. Go deeper with this. Study this daily. Print this and share it freely, for all who are ready already are waking. May they find their way, and may all anchor the compassion of this moment.
May all anchor the compassion of this moment, the call to fifth dimensional presence. This ensoulment again reminds us of the energies that support us to not only remain in the fifth dimension and the ability to lift up into the seventh, but the ability to sustain beyond. We were gifted this in 2019 because in this moment right now, your seat at the table is calling you. Because in this moment right now, it is our compassion, our release of judgment, and our absolute commitment to the sacred union that is the yoga of self-ascension that sustains this grid of illumination. And that clarion call is right now, literally. Whether you're catching this live, whether you're catching this at any moment in the future, this is time stamped in. This is that moment, again and again. Tomorrow on April 12, in that illuminated new moon, the possum has already come out in the daylight, and it's playing, and it's having fun, and it's gorgeous. And so what are you doing? Are you out? Are you playing? Are you gorgeous? Are you being you? Or are you still hiding in the den? Because both of these experiences are upon us right now.
Yeah. Remember, beloved ones, your freedom is a breath away.
Always.
Your recognition is a breath away.
Yes.
And you can choose on every breath. We are constantly in an exchange of information and communion with the entire universe. The prana that enters you is more than a bit of oxygen. It is essential connection and energy that for most people slips below the waterline of consciousness. As you awaken to the power of a conscious breath, you awaken to the power of a conscious choice. And as you accept your conscious choices, you awaken to an illuminated life. Yeah. This is the energy of resurrection, yes, which comes from the full integration and acceptance of your own divine energy without judgment, without limitation, and simply being the radiance. Have fun with your life. Enjoy the experience and claim the truth, for the truth will set you free.
And as you breathe that in, and really breathe that in, I'm inviting this smile to your face, what I call the master smile, which is that moment of evolution where you realize you're starting all over again. And that without it having been to that moment of evolution, how could you start again? For that one space where most stop, I know it all, my ego is full of me, I have attained the epitome, that is, enjoy that ride and it will be amazing. And when you can let go of that master's ego and see that all that did was bring you here, it gets more resonant. And let me give you an example of that. So you're all staring at this, right? Let me put this in perspective. Go back to the shield of Zadkiel and go straight through the center, and then you'll start finding this. You realize that everything that's been happening recently has been after you pop through the center of the shield. And this week, there's a lot more coming, including Wednesday night, the 14th, when I am so grateful with whoever the sacred beings are, where we'll be together face to face, so to speak, in the meeting and holding this energy of illumination. On the 14th, when that peak up level comes, this energy is looking at you right now as a divine mirror saying, let it happen.
Yeah.
Let that dream come true. The law of instantaneous manifestation is real, and it's yours to harness right now.
Oh, what a delight.
Tomorrow.
So, beloved ones, as we take our final conscious breath together in this form, in this way, let a smile come to your face and recognize that all is truly well, and we look forward to being with you again. Namaste.
Mwah.
Thank you for joining us at Shri and Kira Live. To have your questions answered, send us an email to guest@shriandkiraradio.com and check out more information at shriandkira.com. See you next week. Namaste.